Namaste. Good morning. Welcome back to my Tarot Card of the Year series. And know that in whatever way that you select your Tarot Card of the Year, whether it is by a random draw, whether it is numerologically or some other mystical, magical way, let these readings inspire and support any draws that you've already done or any just clarify the work that lies ahead of you for 2024. And as always, I ask that I am supported by both your team and spirit and mine. Welcome. My name is Sadhana, and I'm an intuitive reader and healer, and I've been on this channel for several years now, and this work is just, honestly, I love this. This is just such a fantastic way to connect with people all over the world. So hello and welcome to you all on this third day of January 2024. And good morning to Ramon, Moon, Scarab, and Fernanda. Hello, welcome. This morning, good morning to Annette. I will return to the poems by Lloyd Hagland. And because the Voyager Tarot is based in it's thought inspired, this particular poem is called Art. Art is an alchemical energy bubbling up from within us all. Art is the reorganization into an ordered higher form. The energy of art is creative, seeing beauty and form in what may otherwise seem formless, meaningless, and bland. Art is water and light creating a rainbow, or coal and pressure creating a diamond. Art is the human expression of our divinity. It is the imposition of our will to translate to a higher plane, that which might otherwise remain chaotic. When you draw the art card, you have the potential of introducing beauty into a situation and reforming your perspective to it. The energy of art is poised and latent, able to transpose leaden jumble into gold. And as I read that, I think of my journey with the Margaret Peterson Tarot, a deck that I was intrigued with right out of the box. And last year, I believe I did a deep dive into that deck. And when I read that last line of turning chaos into gold or leaden mumbo jumbo into gold, I think about Margaret Peterson's process. And in that deck, many of the canvases the oil paintings were wiped and then repainted on old canvases. And through that experience of blending more than one intention, these incredible pieces of art emerged to create what's known as the Margaret Peterson Tarot. And I know that that's not the only tarot that may have happened in, but this idea of blending and somehow magically things becoming better through different parts and aspects coming together is part of what the Temperance card is about. It's very dark this morning, isn't it? Okay, so this let's see if we can shed a little bit more light here. The light should be coming in through the window soon. This idea of managing our own wellness through our choices feels important for this to be a focus of the year. when I think about, and I want to go back to Ramon's response to that. One of the things that many years ago I went and I went to an art, those lovely art shops where you can get really nice quality paints and paper, and it's just a absolute joy to go into those specialty art shops. And I bought um, a really high quality palette of watercolor because I wanted to create some watercolor cards. And I really didn't know what I was doing. Um, I may have watched a couple of videos because I was really curious about the lettering and the weight of lettering, when paint, what kind of brushes to use and things like that. But I was just amazed at the magic of the paper and the medium, and how what that created, and the joy that created. Um, I think it's a really exciting concept to put together to these cards. And then there is this piece of wellness. And what is wellness? Wellness is, it's our happiness, it's our joy. And how do we create that? We create that by making good choices and learning how to um, be responsible for harmonizing our own lives. And when I look at this card, that's one of the things that I've always felt as, I mean, a lot of people assign the keyword healer to this card, health. Um, and if you've got this card for a whole year, why not step up in some way, some level of curiosity about the chemistry, the blending of food. There's so many ways you can go with this. The science of food combining is really something. I'm sorry, I've been losing my voice over the last couple of days. Lots and lots of broadcasting. Um, yeah, so it's fun. It's fun, and it's a beautiful way to marry. Um, Sorry, it's just a little too much. We'll get there in a moment. It's a beautiful way to marry art and science. It really is. And years back, so that many of you know that I'm a yogi. I teach yoga. I've, I've been on a yoga journey for pretty much my whole life. And the the word yoga means union. It is about the yin and the yang, and the blending and the intersection of the ha and the ta, the sun and the moon. Hata means sun and moon. And this this dance of what that means is so much more fun if we participate in it. There's something about the Sagittarius connection, and there's one particular connection that really fits into this beautifully. And that if you think about the skill of the archer, oh, that's really beautiful, Fernanda. Fernanda says, I started my journal with a copy drawing from Jewett Craft. It turned out totally different from Will, as you would expect, but since it is about art, I had I had to go. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Um, I need to come back to the archer, but I want to say one other thing, and that is when I did this class where instead of the teacher giving us the paper copy of, well, she gave us a paper copy of the Sri Yantra, which was for a meditation. And we weren't allowed to use the paper copy. We either had to copy it or trace it or figure out a way to put our own energy into that powerful yantra. And there's something about tracing or copying, that even that stage or that level at least puts your energy in communication with all of that. So there's different ways that our hands and our heart and our mind and our energy body can participate. So this idea of the archer and Sagittarius, besides the archer being connected to Chiron and deep, powerful healing, think about the physical strength that is required. Now, if you've ever done archery, it is not for the faint of heart. You have to have pretty tough skin. I know you can wear gloves. There's a tremendous amount of strength that is required to draw a bow back sufficiently to release an arrow that's going to have any sort of trajectory. And so, as part of this idea of temperance and the building of fire and the fire component of this, also the earth component, because this is not just fire and water, this is a blending of all of the elements, so that that middle unifying etheric component can expand, is in our physical body and the respect and the development of the physical. So if we get stronger physically, and of course mentally, emotionally, all of that is part of this, but if we look at that component, it has a direct connection to spirit. So on the tree of life, the path of the archers, down at the bottom, on the central path, on the central pillar. It's not central path, central pillar. Sushumna Nadi, yoga, central pillar. And very low down on the tree. But this is the same path, the same trajectory that takes us through the high priestess to the crown chakra, to Keter. So it's almost like down there in the world, in this earthly experience, if we get strong and we care about our human meat suit, our human temple, we build it to a certain strength. And part of that has to do with the resilience to be able to be in the spiritual experience. If you are fragile and it's very hard to sustain a high level frequency of energy if you're not healthy. You tend to go to sleep when that happens. But what I'm saying here is if we get stronger, if we get healthier, all of this becomes so much easier. There is a correspondence. And Sagittarius is the card. Sagittarius is the sign. It so beautifully connects here to this idea of, all right, so how do we become a spiritual warrior? And what does that mean? And, there was this, I don't even know if they're still around. There was a clothing manufacturer called Spiritual Gangster. They used to sell things at one of the yoga studios I worked at. And I thought that is such a great name. It's got that edginess to it. And we need to sort of challenge and be playful with our spiritual journey. And part of that is the development of our physical health. So there's a lot of components here that can go into this interpretation of temperance. So one of the things I would suggest, if this is your card for 2024, is to think about, okay, where can I get responsible, active in this wellness component that is going to contribute to my harmony. Now, in particular, if you are working with number 8 as adjustment, this is so powerful. Number 8 as harmonizing. And if you are working with strength, this fits equally well. This is about building that inner resilience through your active participation in, this is it's like if we make a step, spirit will respond multifold. And that's one of the things I love about this card. I think it invites us and it gives us permission to co-create our journey and remind us that we do have a role in this. Temperance, the sign of Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter. This is go big, be expansive. Be expansive. Do something about this. So in your tarot journal, if you've already done some readings about your year of temperance, think about how can I expand? How can I get stronger? Body, mind, spirit, all of these things. Understanding that each of those components, and maybe there is a month that you dedicate to the physical body. And we can't separate body, mind, spirit because they all work together. But there may be a focus over a certain period of time. Okay, I'm going to start with the physical body. How can I nurture that? How can I nurture that nutritionally, actively, and different ways? And if you are in some way physically limited, there are still ways for you to build your temple stronger. For sure. So I think this is a great, great card to have for the year. And if you feel limited in your physicality, then work with your prana through breath work. And take a moment, go to my breath series is free. Go back to the first couple of classes where I talk about synchronizing movement with breath and how much that can help to strengthen our physical body. All right. Let these cards expand and support each of you in a way that is meaningful and yet may challenge a little bit, because I think we all need that. We all need a little bit of energy behind us saying, you can do this. You can do this. You can go forward. And this is such a powerful card in that way. However, I go back to, I was trained I did my master's in language education. And one of the things that I learned through all of that experience was when we are learning or trying more than one step ahead of where we're at, it's too easy to quit and get overwhelmed. So, for example, if you're learning a new language, what about languages? What about adding a language to balance yourself in some way? That's kind of brilliant. You don't begin with learning words to assist you in a political conversation. If you're working with teenagers, you are going to have more success with vocabulary that is relevant. And what I mean here is that you want to be learning something that's just a step ahead of where you're at, not be grasping for something that is too overwhelming. And I think there's a tendency to do that, especially when we're creating New Year's and I just don't like that word, resolution. Think of the root word of that, resolve. Um, it's really important that we acknowledge it as just part of the journey. Okay. And I want to respond to Fernanda's last comment as well too. I'm going to start with Jupiter, the expansion, the expansiveness of Jupiter. Beautiful card, star. Hmm. Another daughter. Well, we had that card yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick overview here, and before I get into part two. This daughter is in the Earth position, the daughter of Cups, and the daughter of Pentacles. And we also have the Mother of Pentacles. So the Mother of Pentacles is in the Venus position. The daughter of Pentacles is in the Saturn position. So in this idea of contraction and expansion, what do we have here? Saturn as time, Saturn as limitations. I think it's really interesting that we have a page there in that, sometimes we feel limited by our inexperience. And I feel as if it's so important not to be dampened by our inexperience. Imagine yourself taking on where I started today with this idea of the oil canvas and Margaret Peterson and completing a painting or near completing a painting and not being happy with it and then just sort of wiping the canvas clear. Think of any number of reactions that could happen with the dissatisfaction of how something turned out. It's kind of beautiful that we can just wipe that canvas and let some of the paint still be smudged in the background. And then we start again rather than getting a clean canvas. We acknowledge something about the previous process. And I think having two daughters in this reading is kind of inspiring in that it tells us it's okay to be a beginner, to feel our way through the mindset of the daughters or the pages. In the Golden Dawn system, the pages are connected, are earth element. And the daughter of Pentacles is earth of earth. She is, if we look at it planetarily, as far away as you can get from Saturn as possible. So she's challenging limitations, but they are comfortable and curious in this material world. I think that's why the pages tend to be connected to education. They are eager to learn, and their enthusiasm isn't dampened easily. And in their naivety, they receive more easily. They're more open to spirit. They are also like the Temperance card, if you look at them as connected to Malkut and the 10th Sephira, on the direct middle pillar. There's something about the powerful connection between the lower root chakra and the higher chakras. And those of you that have taken classes with me, like the pineal gland and the root, there's this powerful connection and how they operate together. So when we connect with our earthly experience, we are sort of working in the background on our spirituality as well too. So be curious and play. The Mother of Pentacles in this Venusian spot is wanting to feel and experience everything. And opposite her in the Marshall position, this is like a go ahead button. It's a beginner mindset. It's a fresh start. Okay. I'm going to sign off now, and if you want to go a little deeper with this and look more at some of the other cards, then please join me for part 2. And the way that I've set up these readings is to support my members, and that is not meant to exclude. It's meant to encourage your development, encourage your commitment to really understanding and working with the tarot. And just know that this is so much more than just these part 2 readings that this membership includes. There's a lot of content on my channel. So I really thank you all for every way that you have been supporting my work. Take good care, and I'll see some of you soon. Namaste.